Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of College Ball with J Dog. It's a cold, snowy day in Northeast Tennessee, y'all. Are y'all getting any snow where y'all are watching at? Let me know in the comment section. It's early in the year for some snow. This kind of cold, y'all. Our high today was 31 degrees. Kingsport, Tennessee, where are y'all at? And are y'all getting snow? Y'all, week 12's here. This college football season's regular season's almost over, y'all. Y'all get me to 100 subscribers before the season ends. I'm putting in the work. I'm giving y'all videos 5-6 days a week. Hit that subscribe button if you watch. If you watch, you enjoy it, you're subscribed. Get your buddies to subscribe. All they gotta do is hit that bell. You know the drill. Y'all hit that like button for me. Get in that comment section. We're going to cover week 12 today. We got to react to the coaches poll, AP poll, even though it don't matter anymore. The only thing that matters now is college football playoff, top 25. Really the top 12. Bama's offensive coordinator said they're changing all their signs playing Oklahoma this week. That's like 3 or 4 weeks in a row, whoever Oklahoma plays says they're changing their signals because Oklahoma still signs. Well, anything come of that? Michigan just showed you that there ain't no real punishment for it, so you might as well do it. Also, Tennessee lost a commit to Ohio State. We'll talk about that. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's start with the AP poll and the coaches poll. Then we'll get into week 12, y'all. There's a lot of movement in the poll this week. We're starting to get a little dusting out there, y'all. If you don't know anything about me, I'm a weather freak. I love the snow. So anytime I can get to watch a little snow, I open the curtains, I open the blinds, I sit and watch the snow. I'm like a big kid, y'all. Is there any snow lovers out there watching this? Let's start with the AP poll, y'all. South Florida back in. James Madison in. Right now, it looks like South Florida, James Madison battling it out for that group of 5 spot in the playoff. Then you got Pittsburgh. They're up in there. They play Notre Dame this week. Cincinnati 22. The Vols 21. Virginia 20. No way in hell. Let's go ahead and say this. There's no way in hell Virginia with 2 losses in the ACC against the competition they played compared to the competition Tennessee's played should be ranked above Tennessee with 1 less loss. That's how I feel. Y'all let me know how you feel. Same thing with Louisville. Louisville does have a win against Miami. They got a loss against Cal. Who's Louisville's other loss to? I can't think of it right now, but I guarantee you it's not Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma. Michigan sitting at 18. USC 17. Miami 16. Utah 15. Georgia Tech at 14. Still too high. Yes, they've only got 1 loss. Their strength of schedule's in the 70s. They should be in like the 18-19 range. Vandy at 13. I would have Vandy above BYU. BYU hasn't played nobody besides Texas Tech. Texas Tech stopped with them. Bet to ask them, however you want to say it. Oklahoma, 11. Texas, 10. Notre Dame, 9. Texas Tech, 8. Oregon, 7. Ole Miss, 6. Top 5 stay the same. How does Ole Miss jump Oregon When Oregon beats a top 20 Iowa team, Iowa was ranked 20th. They beat them, and Ole Miss jumps them after beating Citadel 49-0. How do you move a team up above a team that beat a ranked team after beating Citadel? That's why I say the AP poll is absolute garbage, y'all. It just is. Let's go over to the coaches poll, y'all. You got James Madison. So South Florida is not ranked at all. Missouri 24. Pitt's 23. Cincy 21. 22, sorry. Louisville 21. Tennessee 20. Virginia 19. The only thing I've changed out of that right there is, like I said about the AP poll, Tennessee should be above Virginia. Virginia does not have a good win. Their best wins against Louisville. That's who Louisville lost to, besides Cal. It just popped in my head. They beat Louisville in overtime. USC, Michigan. So the coaches are lower on USC than the AP poll is. They're higher on Michigan. Thing about Michigan is they got to play Ohio State. So they definitely have another losable game now. You see me looking to the left, I'm watching the snow. Miami at 16. Utah 15. Vandy's 14 in the coaches poll, still behind BYU and Georgia Tech. Why are the coaches giving BYU and Georgia Tech so much love with such a terrible schedule? Texas at tied at 10 with Oklahoma. They got Oklahoma ahead of Texas, even though Texas beat Oklahoma. Notre Dame, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Oregon. The only thing from the top 7 is different in the coaches is that they were smart. They kept Oregon above Ole Miss, which they should be. My biggest gripe with these is, why does it matter what time of year you lose? Notre Dame lost both of their games, first 2 games of the season. They've already crawled all the way back up to 9, y'all. Without a good win at all. Their best win's USC. That's a pretty good win. It's not great, it's a good win. Miami has 2 losses. They're sitting all the way down to 17. But they have had to head over Notre Dame. By season's end, the only thing that should matter is your record. Not when you lost. It should be who you lost to, who you beat. That's it. That's it. But it seems like when you lose matters. So Notre Dame, Joey McGuire for Texas Tech called this out today. Notre Dame gets to schedule all their opponents. So they get to schedule cupcake after cupcake after cupcake. What they do is they schedule their best opponents at the beginning of the season. That way, all we lose, if we schedule one good opponent, we lose to them. We schedule 2, we lose to them. We win out the rest of the season against the shitty-ass schedule we play. We're good. We're going to be in the top 12. We're going to make the playoff. Well, teams that are in conferences don't get to do that. Teams that are in conferences have to play good team week 3, good team week 7, good team week 10, good team week 13. So if they start off hot, then lose a game or 2 down the stretch, they're going to drop out and never have a chance to climb back in. That's why I say strength of schedule's got to matter. The playoff committee showed you it don't matter, again, which is what they do. And it don't matter, shouldn't matter when you lose. It should matter who you lose to and who you beat. But at the end of the day, that ain't how it works. For some reason, Wins and losses is all that matters, and win you lose. You can't tell me some 3-4 lost teams ain't better than some of these 1 or 2 lost teams. Strength of schedule's got to matter more. That's my rant on the polls, y'all. Let's get into week 12. I could ramble on about that forever. I know y'all don't want to hear it. I ramble on about it every episode. Tomorrow, college football playoff poll comes out. I'll probably ramble about it some more on Wednesday. Let's get into it, y'all. We got 2 good Friday night games this week. So don't just say, oh, I'm ready for Saturday. Because Friday night, especially if you're a Tennessee fan, this is a pretty important game if you're still holding out hope you can make the playoffs. Clemson travels to Louisville. Friday night. 7:30. Louisville's favored by 3.5 points. The FPI likes Louisville about 55-45. These Friday night games, y'all, every single Friday, there's an upset. It's Florida State over Virginia. Louisville over Miami. Minnesota over Nebraska. Tulane over Memphis last week. Every Friday, there's an upset. Go ahead and give you a spoiler alert for Thursday. Thursday's my prediction show if this is your first time watching. One of my upset picks will be Clemson over Louisville. Louisville's not showing me anything. They've had an easy schedule. Clemson ain't showing me nothing either. But I got a feeling Clemson goes up there and gets a win Friday night. The other Friday night game, Minnesota travels out to Oregon. Now, do I think this one's going to be an upset? No, I do not. Do I think with it being a Friday night game, it may be a little closer than that spread? Possibly. Because Oregon's not really blew people out besides Oklahoma State. They only beat Wisconsin 21-7. Other teams like Iowa, Ohio State beat them 34-0, 37-0. Alabama put like 42-20 or something on them. Oregon's favored by 24.5 points, y'all. The FPI says Oregon's got a 96% chance to win. I agree with that. I do think it could be more of like a 14 to 17 point game. But it's one of them Friday night games, y'all. Them Friday night games have been weird all year. I'll definitely be tuned in to the Louisville Clemson game. I don't know if I'll be able to stay up late enough to watch Oregon too. But just remember, Friday night, y'all. This week's good games start Friday night with Clemson and Louisville. I know Clemson's down. They're 4-5. But they're still fighting to be bowl eligible. So they need that one. And if you're a Vol fan, it's in your best rooting interest for Clemson to win that. As much as we despise Clemson, we got to pull for them. Let's get into Saturday, y'all. Tennessee coming off of a big win against the bye week, y'all. We knew it was going to be tough. But we held them scoreless. We scored 100. Held the bye week scoreless. Bounced back after that loss to Oklahoma. Now we got a tough one with New Mexico State coming into Neyland Stadium Saturday. The spread in this game is 39.5. We better come ready to play. FPI only giving us a 99% chance to win. Joey Aguilar's got to bounce back. I know this week he's going to look good. That game's not even worth talking about. I'm a Tennessee fan. I just figured I'd throw us in there and put a little humor in here. But the next week in the swamp, Aguilar's got to bounce back to protect the football. We could easily be 8-1 right now if he protects the football. 9-0 if our kicker could kick. That Bama game could have went all kinds of different ways. if he doesn't throw that pick six. The Oklahoma game, he fumbles. They run it back because Kitselman kept trying to punch the ball out instead of make the tackle. Then he throws 2 interceptions. Tennessee has over 300 and some yards in the first half and has 10 points. They lose by 6. The Oklahoma game, absolutely on Joey Aguilar. The Alabama game, pretty much on Aguilar too. This team can compete with anybody. We've showed it. The pick six gives Bama, 14-point swing. We lose by 17. That's 3 points. Georgia beats us in overtime and missed field goal. Oklahoma handed them the game and still only lost by 6. Like I said, Tennessee coming off a tough week against the bye week. We beat them 100-0. We knew it was going to be hard, but we come out, bounce back after a tough loss to Oklahoma. Time to put the foot on the gas and finish the year 9-3 and sneak our way back into the playoff. I'm not getting my hopes up. 9-3 regardless. If we don't make the playoffs coming into this year, if you told me we went 9-3 after losing Nico, all the fucking drama in the offseason, sorry for that part. I know I say damn and ass. I usually try not to drop the F-bombs on here. With all the drama we went through in the offseason, if you told me we went 9-3 this year, I'd have been happy. It's still out in front of us. Got a backdoor chance sneaking into the playoff if Vandy can win out till we play them. Lock in, Vol fans. Let's lock in. Get back behind this team. Quit bitching and whining. And get her done. Up next, I got a Thursday best bet already. This line's probably going to move, y'all. Wisconsin coming off of an upset win against Washington. How they done it, I have no idea. After getting beat down by everybody they played. Their punter, Wisconsin's punter, led them in passing yards against Washington. And they still won 13-10. Indiana's favored by 30.5 in this game, y'all. Jump on that line before it moves. Indiana against bad teams is going to win by 40 or more. We've seen it all year. So jump on that 30.5. If you're a gambler, if you like to throw a little money on some games, jump on that one now before it moves up. That's the best value you're going to get of the week, I'm telling you. Is Indiana minus 30.5 against Wisconsin. They'll cover that spread probably by halftime. Just like when UCLA went there, they was only favored by 24.5. They was up by 30 at halftime. Beat them by 50. So I look for them to do the same thing to Wisconsin this week. That's the only reason I even threw that one on there, y'all. To give y'all a best bet to go bet on. You got South Carolina traveling down to Texas A&M, College Station, the 9-0 Aggies. If you go off of strength of schedule and strength of record, they should probably be your number one team in the country. Texas A&M should. They've got the best wins of anybody in the country. But they're not going to be ranked number one. I'd put them at 2 above Indiana. But I wouldn't put them above Ohio State. And that's only because, in my mind, you're the defending champs. You still ain't lost. You're number one. You're number one until somebody beats you. South Carolina, 18.5-point underdogs here, y'all. FPI is giving them a 15% chance to go down there and pull the upset. Their path to winning this game is Lenore Sellers having one of his Superman performances that he had last year for about 6 weeks straight. And then their defense stopping the run and making Marcel Reed beat them with his arm. Can they do that? I don't know. I have a South Carolina guy that comments on some of my videos. I did not see South Carolina being this bad this year, y'all. There's a lot of people had them in their playoffs coming into the year. I didn't have that. I said I thought they'd go like maybe 8-4, 9-3, 7-5, worst possibility. They're sitting at 3-6, and it don't get no easier, y'all. They got Texas A&M and Clemson left on the schedule. I know Clemson's down, but that's still a very losable game. Do y'all think Beaver is at South Carolina next year? Or do you think he goes to Virginia Tech, or do you think they pull the trigger and fire him if they finish 4-8? I'm kind of torn on that one. I think he's going to end up at Virginia Tech, but I think it'll possibly be a mutual parting of ways. I think South Carolina may be like, hey, yeah, just go ahead and take the job. We don't really want you here anymore. We want to try something different. College game day heading to Pitt for Notre Dame versus Pitt. I feel like that's the only reason Pitt's ranked this week is to hype this matchup up. Notre Dame's favored by 10.5. The FPI loves Notre Dame by 77%. Pitt's a decent team. Do I think they'll beat Notre Dame? Probably not. It's at Pitt. They got a really good freshman quarterback. I think Narduzzi's a pretty good coach. He's a kind of a prick, but he wins 7-8 games a year at Pitt, and their recruiting is never very high. So I do think he's a pretty good X and O's coach. Notre Dame struggled against Boston College a couple weeks ago. They're being at Pitt. Pitt might have a chance to take that game. If they do, that should be the end of Notre Dame's playoff hopes. They should drop down to the 20s with the other 3 lost teams, but they won't. They'll drop them to like 15 or 16 and keep them right there where they can try to sneak them back in there because they love Notre Dame so much. We all know that. Gameday has bent the knee, bowed down to all the critics on the internet. Oh, they might as well rename College Game Day SEC Game Day or blah, blah, blah. They should go to the best game of the week. And most weeks is that an SEC game? More than likely. You should not go to a game that's not the best game of the week just because fans have been raising hell about you going to too many SEC games. Especially this week when you got Oklahoma and Bama and Georgia and Texas. You got a top 10 matchup and another one that's a top 10, top 11 matchup. But you pick number, I don't know what the playoff committee's going to have them ranked, but you pick a barely top 25 team versus a top 10 team to go to. I think McAfee had something to do with that because he's from Pittsburgh. Maybe. And ESPN's already freaking getting enough criticism for their bullshit with YouTube TV that's lasted way too long. 2 rich people arguing about who's trying to screw each other harder. But in the end, the working man and the fan is the one that gets screwed in the end, just like always. If you got YouTube TV, are you going to switch something else and say, screw YouTube TV, or are you going to stick with YouTube TV and say, screw ESPN? ESPN should realize at this point the only reason people even watch ESPN anymore is for sports. Nobody watches any talk shows on there anymore. They try to go woke, try to do all this. There's nobody on there that even knows sports anymore. There's really not. Do y'all watch ESPN besides ball games? I used to wake up, watch Sports Center, watch Pardon the Interruption, watch Highly Questionable, do this. I'd watch shows on ESPN all day, and now I just watch people on YouTube. Because there's nobody on ESPN worth watching besides McAfee. And McAfee's on YouTube. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Let's keep it moving. I think this is a sneaky good game, y'all. Northwestern's been a decent team this year. Michigan travels to Northwestern. I'd feel better if Northwestern had any kind of stadium, but their stadium looks like a high school stadium, but it is on the lake. So it's very pretty. Michigan is favored by 11.5. The over-under is 41.5. FPI likes Michigan about 80% to 20. I think this is going to be a decently close game, y'all. The main way to hang it with Michigan or beating Michigan is to stop the run, make Bryce Underwood beat your throwing ball. He's not proved he can do that yet. Is that on him? Is it on the coaching? Or is it on the lack of athletes they have out wide? That's the recipe. I think Northwestern will keep that game close, y'all. If this was Thursday, I got to think about it a little longer. But if this was Thursday, I'd tell you to take Northwestern covering that spread as the best bet. We got OU traveling to Tuscaloosa. OU cannot escape the sign stealing allegations, y'all. Every week a coach says something about it. OU is 6.5-point underdogs. The over-under is 46.5. The FPI likes Bama by about 72% to 28%. For Oklahoma to win this game, John Mateer's got to have the game of his life. Oklahoma's secondary is the biggest question mark on their defense. Ty Simpson's been the best quarterback in the conference. If I had to pick right now, I'd say I like Bama. Sometimes as the week goes on, I get them feelings about the upsets and how the week's going to go. It's going to be a tall task for Oklahoma to go in there. And really, I need Oklahoma to lose that game. So I'm pulling for Oklahoma to lose. 100% pulling for Oklahoma to lose that game. Just to be honest with y'all. Y'all know I keep it honest with you. Let's keep it rolling. This team is another team I need to lose. And it's very possible. They're 6.5-point underdogs to Duke. Virginia. Duke beat Clemson. Turns around, loses to UConn last week. This week they're favored by 6.5 against the ranked team. The over-under is 57.5. If there was a play in this game that I would take, it'd be the over. One of my best bets I'd take in this game, definitely the over. They're two higher scoring teams. Virginia didn't score much last week. If they're without Morris, and it seems like they're going to be, I didn't see what his injury was. But with Duke being favored by 6.5 in this game, I'd say they're probably going to be without him. FPI likes Duke about 60-40. Darian Mensah, man, he probably going to get a lot of money to transfer to a bigger school. He got a lot of money to go to Duke. He's a really good quarterback, y'all. He's one of the most overlooked quarterbacks in the country because he's at Duke. I think that's going to be a really good game. One for Tennessee fans to keep their eye on. North Carolina State travels to Miami. North Carolina State coming off that big win against Georgia Tech. Can't remember who they played last week. But they're traveling to Miami. Miami's reeling a little bit, y'all. Miami's got 2 losses out of their last 3 or 4, I think. North Carolina State's kind of hot. They got a really good offense. Can their offense hold up to Miami's defensive line? We'll see. The FPI is Miami 88% to 12%. The spread's 14.5. Over-under is 55.5. I think that game could end up being a little interesting, y'all. This week's slate is freaking loaded, y'all. This is a huge week, and it's a separation Saturday. Some people's playoff hopes are going to be crushed this week. Some people's going to stay alive. This slate is loaded, y'all, and it's to the point that every Saturday has so many big-time games for how team season's going to play out. It's a great time of year. It's a sad time of the year because the regular season is so close to being over, y'all. We wait all damn year on this shit. Then it rolls around. It seems like it blows by like that. Iowa travels up to USC coming off of a damn heartbreaking loss to Oregon. They had Oregon on the ropes. They had Indiana on the ropes. Indiana had to score a late touchdown to beat Iowa, too. Iowa's a really good team. The only thing I don't like in this game is they're traveling out west. We see it over and over and over again. These teams travel out west, and they don't play up to par. USC, 7-2. Playing pretty good ball right now. Can Iowa's defense slow down USC's offense? If Iowa comes in there and smacks USC in the mouth on offense with Iowa's defense, Iowa can pull this upset. If they don't, they might be in trouble. These rankings up here, y'all, are not going to be the rankings. These are the college football playoff rankings. If you've been looking at the rankings as we go, they're the college football rankings. They don't update till Tuesday, so now, not until Wednesday, do these graphics rankings update. But I showed you the AP and the coaches poll earlier, so y'all know kind of where people's ranked. Ole Miss gets a chance at revenge against Florida, y'all. Last week against Kentucky, it looked like Florida straight quit. Looks like their players quit. They're talking about where they're going to transfer, who their coach is going to be. Didn't look like they gave a damn about that football game against Kentucky Saturday. This is a revenge spot for Ole Miss. Florida knocked Ole Miss out of the playoff last year. Even if Florida's players get up and come ready to play in this game, I think Ole Miss should handle them. Even though Ole Miss can't afford a loss, I don't think they'll want to lose to Florida 2 weeks in a row, especially not after the way Florida looked against Kentucky last week. Kentucky beat them 38-7. Ole Miss does not want that on their resume. But Florida's that team this year. 1 week, they look like shit, and then next week, they'll beat the hell out of a good team. So you never know. That's why you play the games on Saturday. Every week, there's a game that nobody sees coming. So that could be it. You never know. That's why you tune in on Saturday. That's why you don't go to the pumpkin patch with your woman. That's why you don't do date night on Saturday. That's why you don't do weddings on Saturdays. Because even on weeks, hell, even Tennessee against New Mexico State. Shit like that happens every damn year. We played Georgia State a few years ago. I was like, shit, this is going to be an easy game. I'm kicked back, relaxed. We lost. Every team has one of those games. That's why you don't go out with your woman. You don't go out with your buddies. You don't attend no damn weddings. You don't go to no birthdays. You wake up Saturday, you watch game day. You sit your ass on that couch or you stand up and watch your game from the time they start till the time you go to bed. And that's why it's the greatest damn sport in the world, y'all. Utah travels to Baylor. Baylor's been a kind of up and down team this year. Sawyer Robertson, Tennessee tried to get him. If he would have came, he'd have been really good in that Josh Heupel offense, y'all. He is almost 2,800 yards, 26 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Baylor's problem is actually their defense, even though they got a defensive-minded head coach in Dave Aranda, former LSU defensive coordinator. Utah's looking really good. They're favored by 9.5 on the road at Baylor. That's a lot of points against a Baylor team that can score, but Utah's looked really good. I think if you like Big 12 football is that they have really good games most of the time because they're all pretty evenly matched besides a couple of teams, besides Texas Tech, really. Texas Tech's head and heels above everybody, but then you got Utah, BYU, teams like that, they're kind of bunched up together. They have a lot of really good football games in the Big 12. I think that'll be a really good football game. Told y'all, this week is freaking stacked, y'all. We still got 4 more to talk about before we get out of here. Ohio State UCLA travels to Ohio State. I just wanted to get y'all on this best bet, too. Ohio State's only favored by 31.5. Hop on that one, too, y'all. So the 2 best bets I'm giving you on Monday before they go up even higher is Ohio State 31.5 against UCLA, Indiana 30.5 against Wisconsin. Hop on those early before they go up. And I know those are big spreads, but almost everybody's played these teams are covering those spreads. Let's get into the big matchup of the weekend where College Game Day should be at. Texas travels to Who's That Coming Down the Track? Georgia, favored 6.5 points. FBI likes them about 60-40. Over under 47.5. Who do y'all like in this game? I'm leaning a certain way, but I'm not going to tell you till Thursday. You got to tune back in Thursday. Y'all tell me in the comment section who you like in this game, the Alabama-Oklahoma game, and the Notre Dame-Pitt game. Georgia's peaking, y'all. Georgia's playing their best football of the year, right at the right time, just like they started to do last year. I think Kirby's figured out how to get his team to start peaking at the right time of year. And that is one of the critical things about coaching football, y'all. If Missouri doesn't have Bo Prabula back this week, Mississippi State could go in to Missouri and get a win. If Prabula's back, I think Missouri's probably safe in this game, but Mississippi State's been a pretty good team this year. They've played a lot of close games with a lot of good teams. I think they can make this a good game. Missouri's favored by 7.5. FPI likes Missouri by 75-25. That FPI's like everybody against Mississippi State, really. And Mississippi State still kept them all pretty close besides the Georgia game and maybe one more. Last game of the night, the late kickoff. TCU travels to BYU. BYU coming off an absolute ass whooping by Texas Tech. TCU has been an up and down team this year too. They're sitting at 6-3. BYU come in with a hangover. Do they come in ready to play? Josh Hoover, pretty good quarterback. Can TCU score some points? If they do, they can win this game. If BYU's defense stopples TCU, I don't think TCU can win this game in a low-scoring game. The over-under is 52.5. TCU is 6.5-point underdogs. That's one to watch, y'all. That might get put on my upset picks of the week. Last thing I want to talk about, Ohio State stole 4-star Tennessee commit. One of the top athletes in the country, Gameday. They don't know if he's going to play wide receiver, running back at the next level. He plays quarterback in high school. He's only a 4-star. Oh, he's one of my favorite commits. I hate we lost him. But you watch and see. When we got him to commit, he was ranked in the 300s, barely a 4-star. But when we got him to commit, he was barely a 4-star. You wait and see. If by the next time they update the player rankings, if he's not almost a 5-star now that he's committed to Ohio State. Y'all know how they do it. Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State. They get players. They get an automatic bump. Tennessee gets them. They take a bump. They take a bump down. So I'm anxious to see when the new updated player rankings come out how far Gameday jumps. He's going to take a jump anyway. But I guarantee you he's almost a 5-star now that he's an Ohio State commit. When he committed to Tennessee, he's barely a 4-star. You know he's a damn good athlete, damn good player if Ohio State wants to come try to steal. We're going to wrap it up today, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. We're sitting at 62. I'd love to get to 100. before the season's over with. Really, I'd love to get to it before tomorrow. If y'all got buddies that like football, you like the content, get them to subscribe. Get your family members to subscribe. Help a brother out. I'm here for y'all 5-6 days a week. Hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Hope y'all have a good day. I know it's Monday. We know how we all feel about Monday. But God blessed us, woke us up for another day. Thank y'all for tuning in. God bless you. And as always, go Vols.